Hey guys, this is Alex from Brightfield Studios. I hope you all have had a great morning. I know that I seem to have booked myself in for streaming at 8:30. It is now 9:40, so that's actually something I didn't know how to do on the YouTube thing. So that's probably why I booked myself for 8:30. I hadn't planned anything, but now I'm here. So anyway. Yeah, yesterday I did my first stream here on YouTube, and it would seem that it was sort of a failure because I had some errors with my audio. I'm going to try to improve my audio on that clip and re-release it as an edited movie and try to get the audio, but due to the fact that, well, for some reason my video editing software Lightworks isn't really working at the moment. I don't really know why. It might be because I've been messing around, like I said, with the audio. Added Voicemeeter Banana to separate some of my audio sources so I can adjust them accordingly, like the Spotify track you guys are hearing in the background. And so because of that, I think that might be the reason why it's sort of messing up, because I know that if I haven't put the correct audio sources on some of my other programs, they stop. Like YouTube, if you go on Chrome, you run YouTube and you try to play a video, if you haven't set an audio source, it won't actually render it. It'll give you an error message. So my hypothesis is it's got something to do with the audio source. So I'm trying to troubleshoot it. If I can't get it to work, I might have to bite the bullet and get After Effects and try to get that to work. Use the free 7-day trial. And if that still doesn't work, then I might have to just undo everything and try to uninstall Voicemeeter or something. But right now everything else is working, so it'd be really great if I didn't have to do anything about it. But yeah, enough ranting about my audio and my excuses for my previous stream. Today we are going to work some more on my development for Drone. Now, since my audio wasn't working yesterday, I'll explain it again. Drone was actually my submission for this year's GMTK, or Game Maker's Toolkit Game Jam, which was about 2 weeks ago now. And now that the Game Jam is over, you're actually allowed to continue working on the game. And I actually have some plans for what I want to do with the game. I don't really think it's going to be something I want to invest too much time in. I think it's an important rule of thumb for game developers to, you know, just plow through as many games as you can and just build experience and not just dig yourself into a hole with one game. So I'm going to wrap up Drone quite quickly. But first I want to do a few more things to it, just for my own learning's sake and to really round off the game. The first thing is that if we go over here and check out my to-do list here, is of course I want to fix some bugs. Let's see here, version 1.2. So there are a few bugs in the game that we need to work on. Some of my testers, they found out, for instance, that my GUI was interactive, even though it shouldn't have been. I think also there are a few issues with pathfinding that we need to do. And then of course I want to add some levels. I didn't have time to make any levels in my 48-hour game jam, so we just really hacked everything into one level. And first of all, it's not a designed level, which means that we could probably have done so much more with the level itself. Secondly, it meant that it was quite, you know, there was a lot of stuff happening at once for the player because there was no tutorial. We only had some text that you could read at the beginning. But, you know, it's good practice to have many beginning levels where you just learn one thing at a time. You know, first, how does movement work? How does the traps work? How does the drone work? And so this, by adding levels, we can also improve the introduction and make it into a more smooth process. Finally, I'm going to port the game to Android. Android, if I can spell it right. And to do that, and put it on the market, what's it called, play market. And that's something I want to do, not because I think it'll make groundbreaking waves in that market, but it's something that I haven't done before, and I want to learn how to deploy the game on something other than itch. So that's basically the plan. There's probably going to be a lot of work in that last point, and it's not something I'll be doing today, but it's something that we'll be looking into in the near future. So with that out of the way, I was thinking that I could just boot up Unity here. And for those of you who haven't tried the game, I really recommend you guys to go on my itch channel and try the game out. During the jam, it was a download only game, but I realized that, you know, if you really want people to play your game, you have to make it work in HTML5 on the in the browser. So I've done that. It should be very easy for you to get started and trying it out. It's very, very short and there's not a lot of functionality, but hopefully by the time I've had a few of these devlogs and added some of that functionality, the game should be a lot more fun to play. So be sure to keep updated. I'll make sure that my Twitter account posts when new releases are happening so you can come back and test the game out. But for now, it's a very basic game. So if we are now here on my Unity, here we are in Unity. And for those of you who haven't tried the game, I can just boot it up real quick. Something here failed. Initializing output device. This is probably also my audio. Let's see here. Yeah, so it's the audio that's not working, but that's fine. So basically what I've done is, that's a lot of motion blur. So how the drone works is that there's a small radar that's cycling around the drone, and depending on when you press space, it will start heading in that direction. And the idea of the game is basically to get around the map and in as few commands as possible. So I have this control scheme in the bottom left here with the controller, and as soon as I turn on the controller, you'll see that it's starting to lose battery power. Likewise, when I actually give it a command, it costs a lot of power. And the idea is that you have to get around the map in as few commands as possible, so that you can pick everything up and rescue your drones. Yeah, one of the cool ideas that we were messing around with is the fact that it should not be possible to complete the whole map without actually losing drones. And it was sort of a tactical process that you had to sort of go off in one part of the level, clear that part of the level out of artifacts, and try to get the drone back in time so that it crashes, so that your second drone can come in, pick up the first drone, and continue its journey and clear a different area out. So that's something that would be fun to mess around with, and I think that it's something that I can consider implementing when I do the different levels, how I would do that. Another cool feature that was mentioned was they want a player said that, you know, because the game, it's sort of emotional with regards to the drones. These are your only 3 drones and they are very dear to you. You should give them personality, so that each drone sort of had its own maybe lights and its own color scheme and maybe its own audio clips. And if I want to take it really far, I can actually also make it so that they have different tasks. So you can maybe like shuffle the order on which drone to deploy, so that the first drone can maybe get up on a ledge and pick up the artifacts there and then jump down before it powers off, while another one can maybe, you know, do like a boost through a door that like closes, or I don't know. But that could be cool as well. I think that's a little bit more advanced, and I'm not too sure if that's something I want to implement in this game. But if you think that's a cool idea, I would love it if you comment it below, because then I'll put it in my backlog as something that I want to do. With regards to the audio, I'm going to do a brief check here if this is an easy fix. I'm not sure. So what I've seen the troubleshooting is like I said, there's an error with my audio. It's no longer there because it cleared out. And often it's because of this banana voice meter, which sort of reroutes all my audio. I'm seeing here that Unity is not actually on the troubleshooting deck here, so let's just start it up. Maybe that's why. Still nothing here, and Unity is not here. How interesting. I'm gonna do one last test before we drop it, and then I'll do this off screen. And that's audio here. Yeah, I don't think I could solve this in a short time frame without spending a lot of time trying to fix it. I don't really need audio to make this work for today, so I'm going to drop that for now, and we will try to get that sorted for next time. I did notice that there was a lot of I put on post-processing, and that hasn't really been tuned for this game because of the time limitation, and really I don't know if you guys see it in the stream, but it's quite juddery in game. So you can notice as soon as I start moving, it's really blurry and juddery. So I'm thinking of turning some of that down, and that's probably here. If we did turned off the motion blur, let's just see how that looks. It might be a lot smoother, and I think that's fine. Yeah, we should just leave it off for now. Yeah. So we've reduced the motion blur, and that's great. Now we're gonna start on this level stuff. Please bear in mind that I have never done this live, so there's gonna be a lot of trial and error. But we'll try to get something to work here. One of the things that I've been thinking about doing is the fact that this level is actually, the pieces in my level are not prefabs. They're just the models, and I'm not too sure. We'll find out now while I'm making the level, but I'm wondering if it's going to be cumbersome to move things around. But to make sure we don't mess anything up, I'm gonna start by duplicating this level. Can we duplicate the level here? How about, can I just resave the scene? There you go. So that's level 2. Done. All right, we are done. We have made a second level. That's all, guys. Thanks for the stream. Nah, I'm joking. So let's just clear everything out. So we have the player. We need the player. We need the scene loader. We need the camera. The traps we don't want just yet. I'll leave them for now. The start point can be the same. Let's work on the level. I want there to be an end zone. So I'm thinking if we just jump to my so with regards to the levels, typical like how I imagine it, an introductory level system. We got level 1. It's probably just movement to understand the radar, and maybe how it picks up the first object, because splitting that into 2, I mean, you just run over the thing. Splitting that into 2 is probably the movement and pickup. and then it just drives through the corridor, picks up that object, and then into the end zone. Level 2 could probably be maybe the jammer. Intro to jammer trap. And I think here it's important that you can't actually avoid it, because we want you to have to experience how it feels, because a lot of the players thought that the traps damaged the drone, but they don't actually do that. They just mess with your inputs. And so, because the topic of the jam was lose control, by the way, so everything had to do with like losing control. And so people were panicking when they were in the trap, and they were clicking furiously trying to get out of the trap, and of course that was using up their command or battery, and that was like in fact what killed them. The trap itself wasn't killing them, it was the player themselves spamming the controls. And so we need them, the purpose of this level should be that they are introduced to the trap, the fact that it doesn't do damage, and that, you know, if you spam the command, you lose your power. So somewhere in here, either there should be a level in between that sort of is shaped in a way that maybe, yeah, that could be cool. So we could do like, we can have an intro to power, level 3. So it's sort of like an S-shaped level or something that makes you have to use commands to get around, and you can actually die before getting to the end zone, just because you have to budget your command points. And commands and turning controller on and off. So that's another thing. Like I showed you in the beginning of the level, you can actually turn the controller on and it'll start to lose power, and you can actually switch it off again to prevent it from using battery. And so what you should do is you should, you know, give it a turn it on, give it a command to turn, and then turn off the controller, and it will then just glide in its new course without you wasting any power. So that's also something that, you know, the more advanced players or more difficult levels would require you to do that, because the level is so long, you won't actually make it to the end zone if you leave the power on. And I think level 2 could maybe introduce that. So then level 3, the jammer trap, you have to run through it so you get a feeling of it, and it should introduce you to the fact that it doesn't do you any damage. Level 4, we also have the magnet trap. So what the magnet trap does is it's just like a gravity well, and when you fly through it, you get slowly drawn into the middle, and it doesn't do any damage, but it can be a nuisance to get out of it, which would then, you know, the drone would die, and you would have to fly through it a second time with a second drone to pick up the first drone. But more importantly is the fact that the magnet trap can be used to do curved headings. So if you have a magnet trap at a corner and you shoot yourself through the magnet trap, it can curve your heading, and that's kind of cool. So I want to see if we can make a level that shows this so that people are aware of that use as well, because that's another interesting thing. And then level 5 is the black hole. It's a final trap that we made in the last few hours of the jam. I'm still not 100% sure if I like this trap. The main reason for that is currently, because it's a black hole, it sucks your drone out of the game, which means you lose the drone and you lose those artifacts. Now, if each level is sort of its own universe and you just live in that level like any other mobile game, you could basically, the black hole is a good trap because it prevents you from getting a max score. So it's like the worst trap to get locked into, because if you lose your drone and whatever's in it, it's impossible to get the max score. However, I sort of feel story-wise it it's kind of game breaking because, you know, we're making a story here about a scavenger who's walking through the ruins of a lost city with his 3 trusty drones. And, you know, a lot of this is about how without those drones he wouldn't survive. And so it's really important to retrieve those drones and bring them along with you for the next mission. And so by having this whole black hole system, you lose your drone and then it's the man with 2 drones instead of 3 drones. It's like the 2 musketeers. And I don't know if but yeah, like, you know, this is just a small game. I'm trying to just get it up and out. So I'm probably going to just pop it in for fun. And then we could patch any inconsistencies later. And then I think level 6 would be first actual map with some sort of task. If we could get those 6 levels up, that would be really sweet. So with that said, if we now go back to our level 2, level 1 is now level 6, right? And then level 2, we can duplicate and duplicate. What happens if I do that? Yeah, okay. And duplicate and duplicate. And level 7 is actually level 1. Woo! Okay. So we got our 6 levels. Let's go to level 1. So level 1 is just movement and picking up, going into the end zone. I'm thinking we just extend this hallway here. So we will go into the static level and we will move this over here. We will have to delete this and we will move, I'm thinking we move this down and I'm thinking we delete this and we can delete this, that. We'll have to do a little bit of a test here because the endgame logic hasn't been completed yet, but I do have this functionality that it sort of counts which artifacts you have in your possession at all times, and also what you have when you reach the end of the map. So we want to make sure that, let's snap this there, and let's snap this to there, and then we'll put the end zone in, and then we will take this light and put it right here. Where are my lights here? We got 1 point light, we got another point light, we got a 3rd point light. Let's move that point light here. Number 3. I think that's enough though. Okay. And then we will just delete all of this. That should work. Let's just do a little quick test. So this is level 1. It's just about getting through the corridor and learning that you have to turn it on. You have to drive forward and you just pick up the artifacts. Notice how they pop up in your GUI. And there you go. We got through. We got collected everything. That's fine. So whether or not I want 1 or all 4 artifacts, that doesn't really matter. But we could just at least make it look tidy. So teddy bear, where is the artifact? Teddy bear. Put you there. And then the suitcase, which is first aid kit. Put you more in the middle like that. And then you have the water bottle like that. And then the photo album like that. and then the water bottle will just move back a little bit, and the first aid kit we can move forward a little bit. So that's our first level. Done and dusted. Next is level 2. So for level 2, if we go to our deck here, we want to introduce the player into the power and the cost commands and turn the controller on and off. Let's just make a little note here though. So we need some sort of GUI prompt, like we'll call it just a wizard. What I mean is it's sort of like, hey, this is what you have to do for this mission, and the wizard says it needs to say something about use the spinning red radar to give direction. Welcome to the wasteland. Your drone has been deployed into your first ruin. Yeah. Use the spinning red radar. Due to interfering radiation, you don't have direct control. Can only give the drone indications of when to move. Yeah. You spin to time the correct direction. When you're ready, press B to turn on the controller. I think that should be at the end, because so that way they don't turn it on when it's when they start reading, because that's going to cost you. Let's take it with R, and let's put on a little apostrophe there. Welcome to the wasteland. Your drone has been deployed into your first ruin. Due to the interfering radiation, you don't have direct control and can only give the drone indications of when to move, not where. The red radar. Press space to give a move command. I think that's good. They get the idea. Like so. We could we could decide to add like a GUI prompt. So where's my canvas? 2D canvas. That. And this is part of the in-game screen. We're gonna create a new empty, and I'm gonna call it wizard, just because we did. Level help wizard. Alright, perfect. And we want the wizard to be hooked to the top left, and then we are going to give it 500 to lefts more. We're going to give it 6, 7, 8, 7 to left, left to left. We want to make it 200 wide, and we're going to bring it down by 100. Give it a height of 400. That's a little bit too much. 300. Yeah, that could work. So that's the wizard. Now let's fill in a panel here. So we'll put up panel, and I believe I have this fun little turquoise color preset, and we need to give it the panel. We're gonna add a small button by doing we could have a toggle with H. I could do H for help, right? That sounds good. Let's put in that text first. Text Mesh Pro. That's a way too big size. Let's do 15. And then welcome to the wasteland. Like that. Okay, and then can move that up like so. That work like that, and -5. And then I'm going to call this header, and then I'm going to duplicate it, and then I'm going to put this as -30. So like that. This is content. I don't know. And then like that. So content, Mr. Content. Where is it? Go. Paste that in there. Drop this down to 10 maybe. We didn't bring in Y. Like that. Scale it up and we bring it down. Lets us bring it down -50. 40. Okay. And we do a width of 180. And with this one, 80. And I'm gonna bring it down a bit more. So content down at 50. Fine. And then I'm also gonna give it a prompt. We're gonna click that to the bottom here, and we'll bring it up by 50, 30, 20, 20. Hide this with H. You can toggle this help box with H. That. Right. So toggle prompt. Yeah, so for our content, let's just read over this. Your drone has been deployed into your first route. Due to interfering radiation, you don't have direct control and can only give the drone indications of when to move. Can I like italicize that? No, of course not. Use the spinning red radar. That could work. So if we just do a quick test, that thing should be stuck there because I haven't given it the logic to toggle it with H. There you go. So your drone has been deployed into your first ruin due to interfering. That's correct. You don't have direct control. You can only give the drone indications of when to move, not where. Use the spinning red radar projection to time the correct direction and press space to give a move command in that direction. Note, the controller only works while it is on. I should put note in there. When you're ready, comma, press B to turn on your controller. Good luck. That's cool. Yeah. So content right here. Note. Dun dun dun. Good luck on your first ruin. Okay, cool. Let's add the logic for the level help wizard. So what I normally have is I have all of this in, I think, my player script. But I was sort of thinking that what could be cool is that the level help wizard is a prefab and that it has its own script that listens for the H button. That way I can just deploy this into any level without having to relink everything, because what I'm gonna have to do, you're seeing this, right? Yeah. So what I would have to do is have, you know, this if get key down H here, and then I would have to tell the GUI to toggle the help screen, and then the GUI would then have to have the method that gets that help screen. But okay, yeah, whatever, let's just do it. So if someone would like to comment on what is best practice, that would be great, but whatever. Press H to get to toggle help help display, something like that. H, is that like, does that work? Yeah. And is in control mode. I don't need to be in control mode. That is when the controller is on. And so active drone, we don't want this, we don't want this, and we don't want that. So the only thing we want is the GUI toggle like that. And we'll call it toggle help display like that. Now this does not exist yet, so we need to go to the GUI controller. My headset is beeping. Plug myself into the power here. Doesn't look as cool, but it's a necessary evil nonetheless. Like so. All right, where were we? Yeah, so we are in the GUI and we have our different toggle control display, that game over screen. We'll put it here. So public void toggle help display, I believe it was called. And We don't actually need anything in there, but we can say help display visible equals, no longer equals, help display visible. And then we steal this if, and then help display visible, else this. And then we of course need to add this in, so we'll do a little private boolean, which is help display visible, and it starts off as true because it's going to spawn in visible. Actually, what we'll do, because it's more resilient or stable, we will do, because we're going to have this game object called help display. I'm going away from the wizard term. So we have this help display, which I'm going to click in, and I'm going to, on start, I'm going to see if it's on or off. So we're going to call, where's that private bool? Private, did I delete it? I guess I did. That's all it. Goals. And then it was help display dot active. So this returns a bool of this. Why doesn't this like? Why doesn't it like this? Set active. I don't want. I don't understand why it's is obsolete. Use set active self. Let's try that. So when it boots up, it will say whether or not it's active. And if it's active, then it's true. If it's not active, it's false. That way I can actually close or deactivate the GUI help display while I'm working, and when I run it, it will boot that up. I should, however, turn it on, because when the level starts, we want it on for now. So if I'm going to say player wants help, then toggle help display. And then we'll just add this into another private bool for now. And I'll also just make it here. So this, I'm going to consider making this player choice when starting a new game, right? So if they don't want the help, they can turn that off and the tutorial won't boot every time they run it. So we have that by default on. We set the help display to active self, and then if player wants help, we set it to true. I think that could work. All right, guys, I'm gonna do a quick bio break here, and I'll be right back with you guys in a short while. I hope you guys are enjoying the stream so far. While I'm away, if you are, please like and subscribe. And I hope to, well, yeah, I'll be back in just a few seconds. Cheers. And I'm back, guys. Hey, just had a quick bio break there. But yeah, we were working on my levels, and we are doing a swimming job at it. We have just introduced our first level, which helped us, which was supposed to help the player with movement and learning how to pick up objects. And the idea was that we gave them a little wizard that told them what to do, and then we started to implement the wizard here in Unity with this display, and the wizard helps them figure out how the controls work. Now, one issue with this that I'm already starting to think about is the fact that we don't say anything about the objects being picked up, which means I should probably have either 2 panels on that wizard, or I need to make it bigger. If I have 2 panels, then we need to figure out how that works with the back and forth. And also I can see we're getting an error here. So on 139, we are getting an increment decrement. Can be used as a statement. I think I know what they're talking about. So the problem here is that this is not allowed. We have to do this. That way it toggles correctly. The second thing I realized that is probably wrong is here. So let's say I'm working in the editor and I have the display active. So the display is active, and then I press play. It starts running here. Player wants help. This is true. It then says, is the display visible? And this will be true because the display is active. So if the player wants help, toggle display. And by toggling display, it's going to turn it off. So we don't want that. I think that we should have our own method that, why isn't this calling? Why is it 0 references here? We should get our own display call method that's just for the start. So yeah, that's really simple actually. We just duplicate this. There's the first reference, good. So what we can do is basically all it does is it's going to turn it on. Which reminds me, we need to change that code as well. Help display visible. No, we want help display. Player wants help. Start help. Change too many things at once. So toggle help display. Toggles it. If yes, then we want to change this into help display. Dot set active. Oh, we can just do this. Help display visible. Tidy little method that was. And then for this one, turn on help display, which is only run for the beginning of the mission, we just set it to true. Sorry, we set it to whether or not they want help, which we can also then concatenate here by saying if they want help, true. If player wants it, yeah, so we just call here turn on help display. Go with help. player wants help. Like that, right? So player wants help is true by default. We'll change that if we want to later. Then we get whether or not its help display is visible, just so that's correctly plugged in. Now, if we want help, we turn on the help display. And if we go to turn on help display, if it's doing that, help display set active equals true. We actually want to also set this, or else it's not actually correct. So we'll just brute force it here. Help display visible equals true. I need to. Yeah. There's probably a better way of doing this, where you instead of toggle, you should just have it as a set, and then, you know, maybe an event. I don't know, an event. But this works for now. So toggle help display, turn on help display, and then finally we want the player to correctly toggle help display with H. So let's just make sure that that is correct. Toggle help display, and it's a method. So we need to give it little brackets, and that should be good. And we need, no, we don't actually need anything in there. That's why. Toggle help display. That. And then just to, if we then go back into Unity, our canvas is going to ask for lag there. So GUI controller, there should now be a help display, and if we do this and we drag that in help display, oh my god, are you serious right now? Alright, let's try that. Let's save project and press play. And emit now. I just realized you guys have been looking at me the whole time. I am so sorry. Let's bring it in to the game, which is what you're here to see. You probably saw none of what I was just coding. So we have the help display. We press H and we can toggle it on off. Yay! Awesome. So welcome to the wasteland. Your drone has been deployed into your first ruin. Due to interfering radiation, you don't have direct control and can only give the drone indications of when to move, not where. Use the spinning red's radar projection to time the correct direction and press space to give a move command in that direction. Note, the controller only works while it is on. When you're ready, press B to turn on the controller. Good luck on your first ruin. So I'm like, oh, okay, so hey, space is not working. I guess I have to turn on my controller. And then press B, and then I'll just add a sentence about try picking up as many of the objects on your way. Yeah. So where were we? We are on the help display. We are in the content section. Note the controller while it is on. Exclamation mark. And then when you are ready, comma, press B. try to pick up as many artifacts you can. So, of course, that means I have to reduce this. Let's make this into 80, and we'll increase this by 20, 30, like that. That's great. I also want this little like cancel button, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to add UI button, and I'm going to make it like 20 by 20, and image, that's fine. Make it just a little bit darker, and then inside the button there's text. I'm just gonna put a little big fat X there, and make it white. Up, 10 in, 5. So, and then we'll also use the font size to 20, so it's inside. That works. And what the button will do is to toggle it off. Basically, it's to toggle because you wouldn't see it if it's on, right? So, button on click. You drag the canvas in here, and GUI controller, toggle control display, toggle help display. Let's see if this works. Oh, it's so exciting. I'm gonna work on lighting up my face. I think this is a bad time to stream in the morning because I got so much backlighting that we're not really seeing my face, my beautiful face. Woo! But it'll have to work. So if I press across here, click. Oh, hell yeah. Awesome. All right, so that works. With that out of the way, we can probably work on our next level. So scenes. But yeah, this is where it gets annoying because now this help display, I want to move across. So let's make it into prefab here. UI help display like that. Sure to introduce that in each one and click that in. That's what I think is going to be a little bit annoying. In fact, it should probably be my in-game screen. No, sorry, my canvas, which is a prefab that I can just basically project. There's probably a great way of doing this so that I can project it either as a camera with this camera stack. Sorry, I just zoned out a bit. Just the heat. Yeah, like I said, there's probably a better way of doing this so that the canvas is like on each level and that it just spawns the levels in. But I'm not gonna spend time on that right now. So that means we boot up level 2 here. Just quickly save and save the project. And then we go into assets and we go into scenes and we go to level 2. We look down at one of the artifacts or something just so we are zoomed in. So we were here on level 2, and level 2 is all about getting, let's duplicate this slide. So level 2 is all about level 2 is all about the cost of power and commands. So if we start by going into canvas and the in-game screen, I don't have that there, so we need my prefab, and we're going to plop the help display smack into the in-game screen. And if we just do quickly 2D, that should be fine. I'm thinking I want that day count. It's just like a neat, fun feature for me. Wow, that's messed up. Duplicate the header, we'll call it day counter, and make it 45, that's fine. Day X, reduce the size to 10, and we'll set it top right, and we'll make it minus 50, 40, minus 50, 30, Now, okay, sorry, I was like thinking. Yeah, so what I want to do is I want to go into my GUI code and I'm going to go fetch the scene number and then increment it by the number of scenes I have before the menu, which is currently just 1, and that will be the level, and that way I can sort of have a dynamic day counter. So go here. What I'll probably do is I'll have that in another part of the GUI now that I think about it, but it's good practice to just get this sorted anyway. This does not have scene manager, what does have scene manager is, does player have scene manager? I don't think it does. Just the scene manager that has scene manager. So on the start, we want to set the level number. Let's try this. So scene loader, I guess is the name of it. Dot get. Let's quickly just bring up the code here. Get scene number unity. Build index. Let's try that. So if I do scene, nope. Okay, we have to go check what it's called. Scene loader. Code, scene management, and sample script. Start scene. Index. Where is it calling build index? There. Yeah, so you need scene, get active scene. So we could probably get away with doing public scene, current scene, and then start scene is get active scene. Current scene, and then what I can do is I can get current scene dot build index there. So we now jump back to the GUI, and then we do here current scene. Object reference is required. Instance. No. Damn it. Dot. Currency. Dot. Build index. Build index. So what I want now is to put that somewhere, and I want to put that in the I should probably have like a get component script and then feed that to that. That's annoying. Or I could put it in there. Day 2. Probably smarter. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so I'm gonna pull the day out into here. So help display. That's day counter. I'm gonna put the day counter here for now. Delete the day counter. Display or something. Day counter display. And pick that up at the top right. And inside it, we are just for now going to have text. And we'll make it size 20. Day X. Day X. That font size 20. Now my width is going to be 50 by 50, 60 by 50, by 20, 2, and the display is going to be 50 by 50, 60 by 50, and it's going to be 5, 5. UI.text.text. Text. O.text equals day. Plus. Affected. Nice changed. There should be now a day counter and a help display. So help display and day counter. Watch this whole thing just crash. Yeah, so day X does not work. And I think the reason for that is it's not text, it's text TMP or whatever it's called. So let's just double check. It's crashing on this, yeah, and that is part of the UI. So let's just go back here and make sure it's the TMP text. I think it's just TMP in front, changing text via script. So it's TMP text. The first component, text mesh dot text. I'll just do it, get it right. I don't want that. I want this. Get and see if this solves it. Day one, yay! Day -1, oh god. So the reason for that has to do with, I shouldn't have pressed that. I just brain farted right there. Yeah, now I need to let it build. The reason for that is, of course, that the build number is set to, I thought it went from 0 and upwards, and that I would have to subtract, but I already had minus as my scene. Oh, it's because they're not put in the manager. These are new levels. That's why. This is the fun part about coding. Like, you're sitting there and you are thinking you think out your solution. So cool when you get those moments and you're just like, oh, that's why, and then you get it right. HTML5 mode, so it's going to like set up all of that stuff. It takes a lot longer than just running it in locally. But it's a huge hassle swapping back and forth, and since we're doing it on Itch now. Well, technically, I am now porting it to Android, but we'll get to that. That's also going to be a really fun process, I think, because it's going to require more optimization. I think it's going to be require me adding new controls, some sort of key buttons where you toggle your controller. Maybe that'd be kind of cool. Maybe I can make like a GUI controller and you toggle the actual button on and off. And then we need some sort of move button. Go to that direction, and then later, if I have that boost thing, those could be different like controls. That'd be really cool. Yeah, this is taking sweet time. For those of you who weren't here yesterday, yesterday I spent the stream creating my offline banner for Twitch. So this is how it ended up. I don't know, I feel it was worth the 1 hour effort that I put into it, and it gets the message across. So I'm pretty happy with it. I already loaded it up on Twitch, so it should be up already for that. Check it out probably here if I drag it in. See how it looks like. While we wait for the twitch.tv/Brightfield stream. Taking its sweet time. Go to chat. That's how you do it. Sort of how it looks like when people are present. Yeah. That's pretty sweet, huh? I highly doubt anyone's going to tip anything. And if they suddenly do, I wouldn't know what to do with the money because there's like tax and stuff. How do you deal with that? I don't know. But anyway, let's see if this is. Dude, this is still working. Can I cancel this? Oh my god. It's costing a lot of CPU, maybe. I wonder if the Twitch stream, sorry, the OBS stream is doing a lot of, stealing a lot of my CPU. The monitor. My CPUs, they are running really hot. That's not good. But yeah, CPU is at around 70% for this. I regret pressing that button. I should like put in some sort of, are you sure you want to do this? It's going to cost you your day. Yep. Might as well make a little post on our Twitter stream here. Got my 3 followers. It's pretty exciting. I believe 2 of them are my friends, and the 3rd one is my private profile. So, you know, making waves. Nope. Discard that. Swap. Actually, I can just press it. Ugly. Change profile here. There you go. So hey guys, we are live on YouTube. Making new levels for the mobile game drone. Let me get this screen. How do I get the actual stream? just quickly fix the Unity and I'll be right back. Hey guys, I'm back. I'm really struggling with getting this to work. There's something wrong in the Unity package manager, and I think it has to do with the fact that I started compiling the game and then I didn't properly close that down. So I'm going to close off the